Cooks, what a career. What an interesting career Brandin Cooks has had. Added to the Bills today. The signing was announced earlier.
The 53-man roster, by the way, just to clarify, not the practice squad. Like he's right. He's
on
there.
the team.
There he is. Right
there he is. There he will be. I think probably on Sunday.
I suppose. I mean, boy, that's pretty quick.
Time's running out here.
But yeah, is that a sign that maybe Keon Coleman's return is not imminent?
Well, it's not a good sign for Coleman.
I mean, they did do very little on offense in the game on Thursday, unlike the first game that he was a healthy scratch for when they exploded for 44 points against Tampa. Excuse me. So maybe the door is open, but does Brandin Cooks take that spot?
I mean, it wasn't 44 points, and out of 24 completions from Josh Allen in Houston, 12 were to wide receivers, and 8 of the 12 were to Shakir. 2 for Palmer, 1 for Davis, 1 for Elijah Moore that went negative yards. Like, Shakir had a nice night. That's a big game for him. 8 for 110. That's a very big game for him. But it's always the same
point. Make a crack about it. It was great to see Shakir get all those air yards. Oh, wait. Those are all just long runs after catches. Really.
Yeah.
One on a lateral, even. I don't know what. How do those yards get allocated?
Lateral?
Yeah, the Palmer / Shakir play that went for 44 yards.
I think it's a Palmer catch, and then it's rushing yards, maybe.
For Shakir?
No, it's not rushing yards. I don't know where they go, actually. Good question. But Palmer gets the catch.
Right.
Like, what's the Allen play against San Francisco, where Cooper caught the pass in the snow, and then lateraled to Allen, and he gets a receiving touchdown.
He gets a receiving touchdown.
But he doesn't get a reception.
Right. Nor did he get credit for throwing a touchdown pass, I think.
And he probably did.
I don't remember now.
Anyway.
Don't ask questions you don't know the answers to. Live on the radio. It's good to ask questions you don't know the answer to, privately.
The Cooks one, we've had this same conversation so many times, which is that it is, I mean, of course it has to be said, commendable that they're not just sitting on their hands when they don't have answers.
Right.
But then you go, well, what are the chances of this succeeding? Should this have been figured out in another way maybe a long time ago?
Yeah.
We've had this
over
and over.
Yeah.
I thought, as you'll remember, when the deadline came around that the Bills would not be wide receiver hunting because of where they planted their flag, through our morning show, actually. Yep. And I was wrong about that. And the word got out that it was Jalen Waddle and maybe a couple other guys that they were interested in.
Yep.
So clearly then they wanted to address it,
right.
And they still want to.
Improving the team took precedence over potentially looking bad to some fans and or media, I suppose. And to me, that's as it should be. You can be as fierce as you want to be about, defiant in the face of criticism about choices you've made. But when you get more evidence, maybe even irrefutable evidence that, I was on the wrong side of that, I'm gonna put my head down and move over there now. I think the Bills did do that. They didn't pull anything into the boat, which is all that really matters. So I'm not inclined. I'll give them credit for swallowing hard, swallowing pride, however you want to phrase it, if that's what it took, to explore the idea. But I'm barely giving you that, because the object is to get something done, and they didn't. And now, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, is that where we are? But 3 weeks from the deadline?
Yep.
It's Brandin Cooks' time. I mean, okay. Well, what are the chances that has any impact on this team in this season?
There's got to be some.
Sure.
I don't know where he's at. I thought I knew last year where Cooper was, and that's a similar bet. They had to trade for Cooper, and this player was a free agent, Cooks, just having been released. But still, like, you got a guy, what was Cooper? Cooks is 32. Cooper was in that bracket.
30, 31, like whatever. Yeah, he was 30-ish.
And I thought, that this was a fine idea.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't been that long since Cooper had been, kind of even dominant for Cleveland. But it just hit the wall, and the Bills got almost nothing out of Cooper. I haven't seen Brandin Cooks be anything like dominant in 5 years. He was in Dallas last year. How can you play 10 games for Dallas and catch 26 passes? I mean, Dallas is Prescott's a kingmaker with his receivers.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you. He did have 8 touchdowns the year before. I can't tell you like that he is done or anything like that, but he wasn't getting anywhere with New Orleans. Their offense is pretty much anemic. Olave gets tons of targets there this year. That's worked out for fantasy, but Cooks season high this year for catches in a game is 3, and his season high in yards is 26, and those were both week 1. He's had 3 catches 3 other times.
Yeah, I wonder if this is simply, availability matters, right? That this player it was going to be on the open market. So it's not surprising that the Bills would be, have their hand up. Oh, a receiver who's caught actual passes in the NFL, and maybe even lots of them over a long career, is available. We should kick tires. I wonder if it's because McDermott sounded so enamored of the speed that McCole Hardman would offer them. And that there's a kick return, and then there's a fumbled play. There was one deep throw, right? That did draw a cover, drew 2 guys. There was a very open receiver in the middle of the field, deep middle, on that play. Anyway, that turned into IR. Like, we were wondering, how seriously is he hurt? Will he even be available against Houston? No, IR.
Was it a soft benching?
Yeah, I don't know. But
because of the fumble,
but
no.
He's 4 weeks, so that's on the back burner. I wonder if Cooks, if he even is that guy anymore. Like, Hardman is at least somewhat younger. I don't know, like, he hasn't been around in the league since 2014 like Cooks has been. But Cooks was 4.33 coming out of college. Now, again, that's 12 years ago.
Yes, it is.
That's a significant amount of time.
Oregon State.
But I wonder if he can still run, if that's it. It's not to replace Hardman's returnability. I looked at this. Cooks has not returned a punt or a kick since his second year in the league in New Orleans. So it is not that. That is not someone that they're counting on to do that. But it could be just we're going to put you on the field for 5 plays. Go bring the safety with you. And if the safety doesn't come, maybe he'll throw it to you. But ideally, maybe he brings the safety with you and Khalil Shakir is open 25 yards downfield because of it.
Man,
maybe that's it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It's worth a try.
Yeah, sure.
There's something really, maybe obviously, telling about that. Just to get to week 13. And what you're trying to do, what that sounds like is you're trying to almost restructure your offense. You're trying to fit in a new threat that can make a lot of other things or some other things easier. And there's nothing wrong with that. But geez, it's pretty late.
It is
to be at the point where they just do not have it figured out through the air. I mean, you don't have to only throw to receivers. I mean, that there's tight ends and running backs in that box score too from the Houston game. But 4 passes were complete to wide receivers not named Shakir in that game. And where did you end up, scoring?
Not
19.
enough. 19 points. Yeah, I mean, it is again, you already said it. I don't want to necessarily say the same thing with just using some slightly different words, but
that's what we do.
I give them credit for trying to do something, but it's almost embarrassing that a team that a week ago was third or fourth in the Super Bowl odds. They're down a bit now. They're tied with Denver for like 8th best at FanDuel as of yesterday. I didn't look today.
I looked at that today.
Like for a team that's it's another piece of evidence. I got a lot of this yesterday, just talking about where, vibe check. Where are we? Like, are we full on panic? I feel like I want to kiss the division goodbye, thus the 1 seed goodbye. Now it's just about like get in, and I still feel pretty decent about that. But they're not that good. Well, you know what a team that's not that good does? They signed Brandin Cooks 2 days before Thanksgiving. And not just to take him out for a spin. They put him right on the roster and, like, come on down. Can he run? Okay, you're on the team. And that is a level of desperation that I just don't feel like you should expect from a contending level team. And circle back, does that make you question whether they're still a contending level team because we thought so in September?
Well, the answer has to be yes. And really, what matters to that? What they think? Because this is not a move you make if you're out of it. I mean,
right.
There's no point. So, and
they're definitely not out of it.
They're not out of it. I mean, I'm not sure I can think of receivers for this, but Kansas City went and signed LaShawn McCoy that one time when it was the regular season. It might have even been over when they did that. It was super late. The Ravens and Dalvin Cook. Was that even last year? Or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when they were in the AFC Championship. I think Dalvin Cook showed up. Just, let's just see. Did the Bills not have Devontae Freeman here for a minute, too, in the same sort of way? Like, depth. This is not that, but,
yep.
That if you're live.
That's fair. Like, the Chiefs, when didn't they bring MVS back last year?
Okay.
And he caught like a 40-yard pass against the Bills in the playoff game, I think.
2 years ago.
2 years ago it was? Okay.
Because it was here.
But, yeah, that's the kind of thing, though. Like, that. Yeah, because he had been here and then was whatever. Yeah, okay. I mean.
He had a couple of big catches, and it made us crazy.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Right. So, I guess it's not as – I want to walk back, what I was pretty harsh a minute ago. That it's embarrassing.
Well, I know what you mean, though.
You got a problem. You got to try to solve it, and whatever people are going to snicker at you along the way, I think you just got to put your head down and live with it because you're in a mess you made. You do not have enough at that position. Figure. God, it was really hard not to swear there for some reason. Go figure.
It's that F.
I really wanted it.
Once you got to the F.
And now I needed you all to know, in case you didn't pick up on it, that I really wanted it. They didn't have enough. And so it's Brandin Cooks' time.
It is Brandin Cooks' time indeed. The Bills are 9th in the Super Bowl odds, as you mentioned. Above New England.
Yes, right. I did
not by
that.
much.
Right.
But above New England. What does that say? It says, it's obvious what it says. We don't really trust you yet.
We don't believe you yet. Right.
We don't trust New England yet. And we do trust the Bills and their playoff experience. And this is such a big part of it. Like, there's no team in the AFC that's so obviously, too good for them, right? I mean, that's what's making this year so much fun. It's not fun to lose, but you don't have the Chiefs or the Ravens, namely, above you that we'd be, maybe pessimistic about seeing the Bills beat. Still could end up being that matchup, one of those matchups, though. The Chiefs have work to do. Well, the Ravens too, but the Chiefs have work to do to get in.
Right. The Ravens have the luxury of not having a 9-win team ahead of them in their division, or even a 7-win team ahead of them in their division. That's what the Chiefs are dealing with the Broncos and Chargers, respectively. Yeah, what the Ravens had to do was run down Pittsburgh, who, I don't think anyone really expected to be leading a division, and they were, and now it's over, and I predict it doesn't switch back. It could, I suppose. You make the right point when we did, it was today, right? Reverse AFC Power Rankings?
It was today.
Yeah. The Ravens, Jackson does not look right. He's getting sacked, which means he does not have, I think, the legs to get away as efficiently and effectively as he has in the past. So he's gettable, and maybe that'll cost them when they play Pittsburgh. And but They've got the
Good.
spot for now, and I guess, expect them to hold the spot.
His rushing, I think I saw against the Jets, was 7 for 11. I mean, it's 7, but
Yeah.
7. Lamar Jackson
7 for 11 is like Drew Bledsoe.
7 for 11. Well, if Bledsoe just got drunk and decided he was going to run 7 times in a game, he doesn't have to be drunk. Doesn't mean anything. He decided I'm going to run 7 times in this game. So 7 for 11 from Jackson is just not what you're used to.
No. Like 7 for 57.
That's right.
More like it.
7 for 100. The Patriots thing is interesting, though. It's really the schedule, and I don't think maybe experience means as much to this, but they are getting pretty close to a home field, if not a bye also. What did you get yesterday in that sense from people about how this is all going? Did you get panic?
I got more, they're not that good. It's one of these, I quickly put out a tweet before the show and said something, the wording was like, looking good for a wild card spot. And that maybe got the most pushback of anything, because it's like, well, if they lose this game to Pittsburgh on Sunday, they're not even going to be in a spot anymore. So what do you mean they're looking good for? I guess I'm telling on myself that I'm not that worried about Pittsburgh. I think the Bills they've got 6 games left, and I think 4-2 they are coasting into the, well, that wouldn't be coasting. You got to win 4 of these 6 games. 4-2 they're in for sure. It might even be 3-3 gets them there. That's 10-7. I mean, you might be sweating some stuff. So, but mostly there was more of that than I was anticipating. More, they're in real trouble to even make it. And I don't really feel that. And again, it might have been because of the wording, the way I worded that, but that was revealing how I feel. I feel like they're in a good spot for a wild card. And they're still, like, in a lot of models, like 90% to make it.
Right.
So that's what I'm basing that on. And a lot of the pushback was, are you sure they're that good? And, I know it's a different conversation. If they lose this game Sunday to Pittsburgh, they're behind Pittsburgh. And, it's the tiebreaker stuff's going to get pretty ugly pretty quick. So it's a big game on Sunday for them. Really, both teams.
They'll have lost in that scenario to Pittsburgh and Houston. And Houston could end up 7-5. They have the Colts, but still, they're a game behind the Bills with that head-to-head win.
Yep.
The Bills are going to be favored in 4 out of 6 games left at least. They're favored this week, 3.5. I'm sort of how I felt about Houston and Atlanta and Miami, these other games, the other road games, where I'm just not inclined to give points. Mm-hmm. They're losing these games now this year.
But they'll be favored against the Bengals.
They'll be favored in all their games except maybe not New England, but they could be underdogs in New England. Sam thought they'd be favored in New England. We talked to him last time. And then Philadelphia has a chance to be. But they could be favored 6 out of 6, too.
Yep.
New England has the Giants at home on Monday night. They got to be, is that double digits? No. 7.5. Interesting. Well, that speaks to the point. New England is not blowing teams out. And even though they're winning, they're not a team that's getting, the most respect in the odds. They were a big favorite against the Jets, and they didn't cover it. Or they right about a push that game, right? The Thursday night game 2 games ago. Anyway, Brandin Cooks signed to the Bills roster. If you have a thought on that, we would like to hear it. 803-0550. We're at KeyBank Center today. It's the Sabres and Roswell Park's prostate cancer screening event that runs until 7. And walk-ins are welcome until 6:30. So even if you don't have an appointment, you still got a little more than an hour to get down here. We'll take a break for the update, then talk some more. Paul will join us at 6 on the Sabres. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.